You got the Landall?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, can you just pull the wheels back and then come around the turn?
So what I was gonna do is I think he's gonna move that red pickup.
Okay.
And then I was gonna back all the way up. I'm gonna pull in an arc next to that trailer.
All right.
And then I should be able to do a couple pull-ups and back it right in front of that bay.
Okay, great.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right. Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration, and we have got one heck of a fire truck here for you. This is the next one in the shop. It's a 1920 Stutz fire truck. It's very rare. I've never worked on one before. I can't wait to get it inside.
What year is that truck?
That's a 1920.
1920?
It's a Stutz fire truck.
Restore that thing?
Well, I'm going to get it running. It hasn't run since the 60s. So,
Holy smoke.
yeah, this thing hasn't run since the 1960s. So,
It looks like it was covered or something. It doesn't look like it was exposed.
it's been in a barn ever since. It's been hidden away in upstate New York. So, I'm super stoked about getting this thing. We've got Farmington Motorsports here moving this truck for me. We always use Farmington Motorsports. Farmington, Connecticut, if you need a truck moved, you're a big rig stuck on the side of the road, you need help, these guys are the ones to call. They know what they're doing. And they're fire truck guys.
It's going to save a lot of work.
Oh yeah. It's gonna back it right in the bay here.
We talked it over. We had 3 plans. I said, what if? And then he said, what if? And then,
Yeah, well, it helps hiring the same guys to move stuff because they know your shop and they know how, you know, it is to maneuver around here. So, here we go, right? The shop entrance.
it's like almost like a taxi, you know?
Stutz Fire Engine Company, Indianapolis, Indiana. So cool. Even the Stutz fire extinguisher, made by Babcock, they paid to have their name put on it. Foxborough gauge, they paid to have their name put on there. Stutz Fire Engine Company. That was common, everybody did that. What a cool truck. Original single tail light. almost completely unmolested fire truck. Fantastic. Check out the oilers for the suspension. Really early design, works great. Higher maintenance, but it keeps your bushings perfect with oil on them. Really cool. Original paint. At least most of it. Looks like someone painted over this at one time. This red paint is not right. This orange paint underneath it's faded with the gold leaf is correct. You can see that. I think someone has painted this truck afterwards, but we have to investigate more. What a cool truck. Unadilla Fire Department. Look at that. Moto meter up there. Wooden steering wheel. Someone's gone through and cleaned that up. Sterling hand crank siren, which is in great shape. Looks like the original gauges and dash, unmolested. There's the Stutz nameplate. I can't see it being down the ground. But we'll check that out. That's one of the coolest fire trucks that's coming in this shop.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, I have to admit it's awesome. I think this thing has farm tractor tires on it, which is completely illegal. But that's what they would have done in the Depression for a tire. So we're gonna fix that problem. But what do we got here? 750/24s, 750/24s. Look at the gold leaf on the wheel. Look at that. You could see the fancy pattern. Wow. What a beautiful truck. Actually, I think the front wheel's got a better view of the gold. Oh yeah. You can see this. Look how fancy that is. This was not cheap when it was new. Wow. I know. It's a time capsule. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. nobody's ever seen a Landall, how that works. This is a Landall brand trailer. It's really great for stuff like this. You can maneuver in a tight space. The wheels move forward.
You ever seen wood rollers?
No,
Perfect.
never seen wooden rollers. Wow. Hey, Dad, you want to just film it coming in and just go back with it when it comes in, okay?
Let me get the forklift. I got a forklift. Well, I was gonna say, you want me to at least unchain it from the?
Yeah, I think we'll
Probably at a
do
safe
that
house.
now.
Right?
Yeah. Wow, man. It even says Stutz right on the corner. It's a corner thing. Wow. Wooden rollers, I've never seen that before for the hose going in and out of the truck. That is awesome. Unbelievable. Wow, this is so cool. All right, let me get a tow strap. Let's see if little engine that could can do this. Every time I've asked this little forklift to do something, it's done it, so. Well, almost. Almost.
Just put it on the side.
Oh, okay, cool. He's got a crossbar. Oh, great.
This is from, I think it's from the chef.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, would you mind throwing that on? Thank you. Yep. All right, let's see what happens here.
I just jocked it.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, I think these are self-chalking tires. Did you see that? They're self-chalking. All right, everybody. So the Stutz here is in the shop now, of course, and we've done some checks to this thing. We've looked it over. Whenever a fire truck comes in the shop, we always make sure that we check the oil and the coolant and the gear oil, things like that. So this truck here is the first one that's ever come into my shop with no engine oil in it. There's none. Someone has drained it out at some point in the past, in the last 10, 15 years, whenever it was, and there's no oil in this thing. So it just goes to show you, when you get an old truck, you can't assume that it's got oil in it. You got to check it. So this has now got a bunch of oil in it. I didn't know how much to put in it. I just went by the level check. You know, it ended up taking about 10 quarts, 12 quarts. So I don't know, have any factory specs on it, but we've got plenty of oil in it, and we've cranked it over with no spark plugs in it to make sure that we've put oil in the cylinders to make sure that everything's lubricated and all the valves are going up and down. We turned it over by hand first with the hand crank, and then we put the electric starter motor on it, turned it over with that. So this engine's in really good shape. I was told by the customer this engine is potentially rebuilt, and the more I look at it, the more I think it really is rebuilt. Let's go check it out here. I'll show you guys what this thing looks like. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the engine compartment here on the Stutz fire truck. This uses a Wisconsin engine. This is a Model M, as in Mike. It's a 4-cylinder. You'll see it has 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and it has 1 Magneto, which is normal for a fire truck, but it doesn't have a distributor, which is strange for a fire truck. So I've got to investigate that. The Magneto is a Burling, I think, and I got to find out if it just is running on 2 separate sets of points in there or what's going on with that, but I've never seen one before. But Stutz used Wisconsin engines for pretty much the whole time that they were making cars, as far as I know. There's not a lot of information I've collected so far on Stutz fire trucks, but I did get an old article that said that they ran these engines. So we're going to check out this Wisconsin, see if we can get more information. And if you're out there and you have some more information on this Wisconsin engine, please put it in the comments and help us out, because I'm digging in all my old books and stuff, and I can't find anything on this truck. It's 1920 Stutz Fire Engine Company. There's the emblem, which looks really cool. This thing is such a nice truck. Let's check out the other side over here. So we hand crank the engine, and the Magneto works. And according to the owner, the Magneto had some work done to it in the past. They had sent it out to a Magneto shop to have it rebuilt. So judging by the condition of this thing, everything is clean brass here, and it's usually never like that. So this looks like it was rebuilt, and it certainly works well. We saw nice hot blue spark here jumping across from the couple of these spark plug wires to the block, so that's working. One quick note on the Magneto: if you have an old car or truck with a Magneto on, or a tractor, make sure you have the kill wire available or a way to shut it off, because if you don't, it's going to keep running as long as there's gasoline. So I checked that when we were hand cranking it, and I noticed the battery switch, which was not hooked up to anything, was in the battery position. I checked the wiring up here after I saw that, and it was not connected to anything. That wire there is a power wire from the battery. It's just going nowhere. So if we had put gas in this thing for some reason and started it up, it would not stop until we shut the fuel off. So you got to make sure you have that wire hooked up. Let's see, this just really cool features on this thing. Like, look at this right here. There's an oiler on the steering column. You pull this out, spring loaded, there's a little hole there. You put your oil in there for your squirt can, the old clinker can, and you can oil the steering box. And I haven't gotten into it yet, but here's the pipe plug here. I believe this is an oil-filled steering box. So you've got an oiler here for this bushing or whatever's in here, and then you have your reservoir for the rest of the steering box. Just really well made. This whole truck is just really, really nice. Brass carburetor, which looks like it was gone through in the recent past. It's in good shape. Let's hope it works. I'm sure it's probably going to work fine. And the, let's see, underneath here, got this giant hex nut here for the oil drain. There's a tool in the back for this thing, and you gotta have a special tool to take that off. If I own this truck, or I may do this myself if we drain the oil back out of this thing later, take that plug off and modify that so it's a little easier to remove, make that hex a little more well defined and make a better tool maybe. But just a really cool engine, aluminum oil pan, cast aluminum crankcase. Check out these oilers for the springs here. It's kind of hard to see in here. I got my flashlight, but here's the front spring right here, okay, for the axle, and all the connections are a oiler for each bushing. It's amazing. Just really, really well made to be used, maintained, and ran for a long time. So we've changed the oil. We've cranked this thing over by hand. We've cranked it over with the starter motor. The starter motor was starting to get hot, so we decided to send that out and get that rebuilt. We're also going to send the generator out here and get that rebuilt along with the regulator, which is right there. That's that rectangular box. You have to send your regulator when you send the generator to get redone. That's the only way they can test it. So we're going to get that all fixed up, and we've got a new battery, brand new Interstate. So we use here in the shop, Interstate batteries. They're awesome. And we've got Jim put a new mat down there, which is great, and the battery cables come up through the floor, right through the bottom of the box, which is standard on most old fire trucks. And that's another thing. If somebody can get me some information on this, who makes these boxes? I don't know. Some company made these things for old cars back in the teens, 20s, and 30s, and I don't know who made them. If you know anything about this, you can help us out. Let us know. Put it in the comments. They're all the same shape. They have this curved edge, radius corners, and they have this square, and they come in various sizes, heights, and they're all metal top, bottom, and sometimes they have a wood inside. They have a wood lining, but this one didn't have that. But anyway, if you have any information on that, let us know. I'm gonna go back here. Got some boxes here. All kinds of cool stuff in here. What do we got? Looks like an old fire hose. This looks like a nozzle, leather nozzle wrap for a 2.5 nozzle. This is really cool. This is probably original to the truck, or original to the era. Look at that old leather. It's falling apart now, but somebody was in here with some extra plumbing fittings for the pump here. Somebody was playing around. Some cool stuff. Got a 2.5 male to a, looks like a 1-inch forestry hose here. It's an unusual connection. Got a old 2.5 here that somebody cut off, and they've got a cap on it. And oh, that's great. That's, yeah, radiator stop leak. That's terrible to see that. That means there might be that crap in the radiator. That's bad. And we got some sort of other spanner wrench right here, or some sort of tool. Let's see what else we got. So there's a bucket here. This is not a real fire bucket. Somebody put this on here. There's a real fire bucket will actually have a curved bottom, unless somebody bashed this one in. No, this is just a regular bucket. A fire bucket will have a curved bottom, and the reason they have a curved bottom is so no one uses the bucket for general purpose use. If the bucket has a curve in the bottom and you go put sand in it, or, you know, whatever you want to put in there, mulch, whatever. The bucket will roll over and fall over, and you can't use it for your gardening or whatever you want to use it for. And a fire bucket has a curved bottom, and so you could just use it for water. And they hung it on the truck, or they had it at the fire station, and that's why they have a curved bottom. And we got the spare wheel back here. It's really cool. There's a hub puller on this that I found inside this box. This box has a couple tools in here. Got the special hub puller here, Stutz hub puller for taking the wheels off. This is probably maybe a factory tool. It sure looks like it could be. That's a really cool tool right there if that's a factory tool. Got some horsehair in a bag, whatever reason they saved that. Here's that oil drain tool that I talked to you about. It's okay, it works, but it's a little kind of crude. Be nice to have a little bit nicer one. And just some various plugs and things in here. Bunch of junk. And you got the Stutz logo back here on the corner protectors for the rear tailboard. These are really cool. Cast aluminum. Let's see what's in here. Nothing. And we'll come around this side. This side's missing a hub protector here. We're probably going to have to make one. I think they're made out of brass. I got to go check that, but definitely have to have something on here once this thing gets on the road. Got to cover up that nut so nobody gets their leg caught on it or whatever. And it's protected from the elements. These tires are totally shot. All full of cracks. This is 38 by 7. This is probably, this could be an original tire. Maybe from the 30s, maybe. But it could be an original tire. Diamond tread, Goodyear. Very common tire back then for big trucks. Got your Stutz fire extinguisher here, which we showed earlier. And there's another holder here. We're missing one. So if you're out there and you have a Stutz fire extinguisher, please let us know. Love to talk to you. And a couple other tools. Got a, what looks like a, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a doorway expander, potentially. It's got this foot on it here with a big lever. I have a feeling that's a doorway expander or something. And of course we got our fire axe, and we've got another holder here. This was for an extinguisher as well. This could have had an extinguisher in it. This one back here is a little taller than the other two. So maybe we had 3 extinguishers on this thing. I don't know exactly what the setup was in this truck, but sometimes you also see an oil can in here and with a spout on it. So if you're at a fire a long time, you have oil on board so you can pour it into the engine. You don't have to worry about trying to get oil if you're at an extended fire. And we've got the parking brake lever right here, the shifter lever right here with the ball on it, and then this looks like the pump and gauge system here. I haven't investigated that at all. We're trying to just get this thing running right now, but we're going to investigate that later and make that work. This whole job here is just to make this thing work. We want to make it run and drive and stop correctly, and mechanically be able to see all these gauges work. We've got an RPM gauge here. We've got our speedo over here, ammeter, oil pressure, and the mag ignition switch right here. So we want to make sure all that stuff works. And of course you got your wooden steering wheel here with your timing and your throttle, which is typical from the time period even on a car, same thing. Very cool setup here. So that's where we're at right now. Next thing I think is going to be getting these tires ordered. These are 38 by 7s, 24-inch rim. Here's a newer tire, so it's got a little bit later designation on it. This is a 750/24, which is the same thing as a 38x7, but this tread is for a farm tractor. So that is not something you can use on the road. So this came off some sort of farm tractor, or maybe this tire was legal back in the 30s or 40s and they changed the rules later. I don't know, but I know for sure now you can't use that type of a tire on the road. Here's another kind of a diamond tread over here. Again, 38x7. This may be an original tire, I don't know. This is a Firestone. So if this thing had Firestone rims on it, which I don't know what these rims, what the manufacturer is, this may actually be an original tire here, because it would probably come with Firestone tires on your Firestone rims. And then we've got another tractor tire back here. Again, this is a Uniroyal, or US Royal, and 750/24. So same thing. All right, well, that's it for this video. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and keep that old iron running.